gentlemen from the South and Central America, let's welcome Raul of Southern Crested Caracara. Good afternoon, Raul. The stage is all yours.
Now this is an unusual bird of prey. It uses its long legs and flat claws to forage and walk on the forest ground skillfully. And right now he's busy turning over all the rocks and wood chips in search for the trees that are hidden underneath. And in the wild they'll be looking for insects. Alright Raul, have you searched for all the trees? Have you tried this one?
Very meticulous. Raul, here you will leave no stone unturned. Okay.
Alright, just a few more, Raul. Have you tried this too? This one. Right over here, sir.
I think it's got everything, but let's check it out. Okay.
Alright, he's done with everything. So what if the insects were to fly off? Well, Southern Crested Caracaras, they are able to do vertical flight into the air just like this.
I thought you said vertical flight. That wasn't really much of a flight.
Oh,
But Raul
he's
wasn't
not impressed.
impressed with you.
Okay. Raul, right over here, let's
Okay.
impress them with a higher jump.
Let's give
Alright?
Amira a second chance, okay?
Right over here. Alright, at the count of three. 1, 2, 3. Come on. There you go.
Okay, nicely done. Hold on. I think Raul's still not very impressed with Amira's performance. You know what? Let me show you how it's done. Okay, Raul,
You
are
wanna
you
do
ready?
higher than me?
Of course, much higher.
Alright,
Raul,
go ahead.
let's show Amira. Okay, are you ready? On the count of 3. 1, 2, and 3. All the way up right here. Where are you going?
Well, I don't think Raul thinks that he could jump higher, you know.
I'm very embarrassed right now, Raul. Okay, let's show everyone, okay? On the count of 3. 1, 2, and 3. Up here. I think you're really missing the points.
I think
on
Raul is
this.
just being very cheeky today.
Okay, let's help him out. So are you ready? And up we go. All the way up. Very good. Okay, Raul, very good. Time for you to hit back home right like that. Now let's give him a big hand, Raul, our Southern Crested Caracara. Right now we do mention that caracaras do feed on carrion, but of course they are not strong enough to open up large carcasses like the one right over there. Right, so they would need the help of bigger bird friends, or bird friends like vultures. But vultures are one of the most commonly misunderstood birds in the world. When you see them on TV, vultures are often portrayed as evil birds, circling around in the skies with ominous music and a sense of impending doom. But we are here to tell you the real story.
But vultures, they use columns of air to fly and glide in search for their carcasses using their strong sense of sight and smell. Now vultures, they help to prevent the spread of contagious diseases.
So with that said, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, keep your eyes right up there. And let's welcome Zena, our turkey vulture. And coming all the way from the Americas, these are one of the few birds with a 42 sense of smell.
So that means when there is a carcass nearby, turkey vultures are usually the first ones on the scene, and followed by the bigger vultures will help to rip apart the tough hide of the dead animal.
Now here's another fun fact about turkey vultures. These birds, they have really acidic stomach acid, right? Almost close to 0 pH level, and it is as strong as car batteries. So that helps them to digest carrion very, very well. Okay, you know what, Zena, you have done a wonderful job. Home is all the way right back to your trainer. Now everyone, let's give it up for Zena, our turkey vulture. Well, our next scavenger also comes from the Americas. And according to the old Mayan legends, these birds were seen as messenger between humans and gods, deserving them the title king. And these are one of the only few vultures with multicolored heads and light-colored eyes.
And as you can see on stage, we have our senior and experienced trainer who will be working closely with our next bird. Now as you can see in his hand, he's holding on to a tool called a target stick. Now this tool is used by animal trainers to help guide and direct the animals to the positions where we want them to be. And it looks like our senior trainer is all set and ready.
So everyone, let us all welcome our magnificent King Vulture, Goncalves!
Now, king vultures, they are one of the largest scavengers and they have a powerful hook beak. So that means when a king descends upon a carcass, the smaller vultures, they will make way for the king when they approach, as they can get to the parts of the carcass that other vultures cannot.
Well now Mira, but they don't just only intimidate smaller vultures, right?
Not just that, they are the most aggressive of their kind. And up close, you can even hear them hiss. That is why we are letting our senior trainer work closely with Goncalves.
And looks like our king is heading all the way back home to his throne. Let's give him a big hand. Goncalves, a magnificent King Vulture! Okay now everyone, keep your eyes on the big screen. And take a look at this very chaotic scene. Lots of greedy birds competing for food and stripping a large carcass right down to its bones. Now this to me looks like a very disorganized feeding frenzy.
But Joe, what if I were to tell you that vultures, they are a social species and they respect their place in the pecking order. So when vultures gather, there is a feeding protocol.
Well, with that said, let's meet the very next guest at the feast. And here comes South African white-backed vulture! Now these are the middleweights who feed on the flesh and organ of the carcass. They are social and yet very aggressive eaters. About a group of 100 African white-backed vultures can strip a large carcass right down to its bones in less than 10 minutes. The ones widely found in Africa, these birds are right now particularly endangered.
And moving on to the next cause of the meal, which is the height and ligament of the animal. Enter the Cinereus vulture, the heavyweight from Europe. Now these birds, they are solitary except for when they mate and have chicks. And our male right over there, he prefers eating in smaller groups. And he has large gripping feet and a hook beak to help to rip apart the tough hide of the dead animal, eating chunks of flesh.
Well, in the wild, it is very common to see many different species of vultures of different sizes and including other scavengers as well. And everyone all congregates on the carcasses, joining in the big feast. Right back there, that's Barros, and let's hope that he will join us on stage in a very short while. Right here at Mandai Bird Paradise and Mandai Wildlife Reserves across, we practice operant conditioning, which is making use of positive reinforcement to work closely with these animals. As beautiful and majestic as they are, we respect them in their proximity and we put them based on positive experiences. Well, speaking of experiences, ladies and gentlemen, we will be having 2 more scavengers joining us on stage. So if you're all set and ready, please keep your eyes right up there! And we have one more from this side as well! Everyone meet our lovely ladies, the Marabou storks from Africa. These birds have dagger-like beaks and a stern or man face.
Although they are not vultures, they are scavengers and they join the vultures in the feast. And in Africa, 11 species of vultures help to clean up to 70% of the continent's carrion. And we will all be in a lot of trouble without these birds. Isn't that right, Joe?
That is very true, Namira. But unfortunately, around the world, we are losing these amazing birds for many reasons. Like poison carcasses, deforestation, deliberate poisoning, and even superstitious beliefs. Many of these birds, they are right now critically endangered. And your conservation efforts will be the only way we can save them from extinction. Now they do their part in helping us to keep our environment safe and clean. I think they deserve a lot more appreciation than that, right? So can we all please take this moment and give them a louder round of applause.
So you have just met raptors and scavengers, these kings of the skies and the walkers of our earth. They are a part of our ecosystem, a part of our planet. And if we were to lose them, we will be losing a part of our family.
Well, everyone, let us all learn to do our part, and let's learn to live in harmony with all raptors on wing.